Hello, everybody. Dave Neal here, stand-up comic and host of Bachelorette Nation News. And we've got a fun little story to start the day, and a lot of content there will be today. Make sure you're subscribed, follow me on Instagram, like this video an odd number of times. But lots of content to get to today. We're going to start off playing small ball. We're going to hit the tennis ball around a little bit before we start going into the big serves later on. Here's what's going on. We've got Marissa liking Riley's post. Is that a story? Should we be doing this with some X-Files music? We've got John possibly moving in with Katie Thurston. The clues are pushing in that direction. We also have a Britney Spears story over on the Dave Neal Show. Turns out her dad was surveying her room. How horrifying. Greg Grippo. This is a Greg Grippo story. And then a Clayton preview that includes Caitlin Bristow, but no Tayshia. Do we have another Tayshia story on our hands? Lots of content to get in today, but let's jump into this one right now. So we've got Andrew Spencer. Happy birthday, Andrew Spencer. Turns 27. 27 years young. Can you imagine that for us old people out there? Remember when you're 27, you're like, oh, I'm almost 30. I'm getting old. And then you're like in your 30s and you're like, wow, I better start figuring out what I want to do in my life. And then you're in your 40s and you're like, F it. Who cares? You know what I mean? Let's have a kid. Let's buy a barn. All right, here we are. All right. So the question is, are you going to be besties with Greg Grippo forever? And he says, LOL, moving in together soon. Stay tuned. February 1st, city near you. We'll have to see what city that is. My guess, New York City, which, by the way, to be single in New York City and a former contestant, you know what? I'll say this. It's probably not nice to be a former contestant because, like, yeah, they get fame and a lot of people throw themselves at them, but, you know, you can't make out with somebody at some random bar without 3 TikToks coming out afterwards. So let's go to the video that Andrew made. Favorite behind-the-scenes Bachelorette moment we didn't know existed. Here's Andrew explaining how confident Greg Grippo was that he would be the winner of the show, and the winner being ends up engaged with Katie Thurston. Of course, we know this didn't happen, but it's fun to see all the confidence that existed here.
Story where Greg solidified that he was definitely going to win the Bachelorette. And this is also my favorite Greg Grippo story. So,
turn the music down.
We are lounging around, me, Greg, and Justin. You know, we're chatting. We just became good friends. It's towards the end, but not the end of the show. We were all suited up, ready for the rose ceremony, and the handlers are running around trying to get everybody to go pack. So you pack just in case, you know, you get sent home so you can wheel your stuff out. We're all pretty confident at this point, you know, me, Justin, and Greg, in our relationship. Bachelorette. So the handlers come up to us and say, hey, you guys go pack? And I'm like, I hate this. All right, y'all go pack. Justin was like, yeah, I gotta go pack too. Come on, Greg. Greg's like, nah, I'm good. And we were like, oh, you smart. You packed early. He's like, nah. Me and Justin looked at him like, what you mean, nah? He's like, I don't pack because I know I ain't going home. At that moment, me and Justin knew.
All right, that's it, folks. So Greg Grippo didn't pack his suitcase. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a breaking news story. Greg Grippo didn't pack his suitcase, knew he wasn't going home. Yeah, what's the hurt? So say you do go home and your suitcase isn't packed, you just got to go back to your room and pack your suitcase. Let me tell you something, guys. It's one thing to pack your suitcase as a single man. When you're in a relationship and you're traveling, the worst part of the vacation is when your fiance has to pack her suitcase to come back. Let me tell you why. When that suitcase gets packed to head to whatever said vacation it is, let's assume the suitcase is 500 cubic centimeters. We're just going to throw out a random number. That's pretty small, right? 500 cc's. If the suitcase is 500 cc's, your fiance is going to try to fit 502 cc's of stuff into that suitcase. Now, then you're going to spend 5, 6, 7 days. You're going to go to Cartagena. You're going to skip a few islands. She's going to want to buy a sarong. She might buy a tchotchke off of the guy because he asked to take a photo of us. And she's like, well, I kind of feel bad. I should support the local economy. So then you buy some plastic picture frame. You just chocolates at the local thing. And next thing you know, you got 600 cc's of junk to fit into a 500cc suitcase, and then you're standing on it. You got to lean the bed against it. You got to say a couple mantras just to get the things closed. The zippers are just holding on tight like it's a game of Red Rover, get the suitcase closed closer. And the whole thing's a mess, folks. We're warming up right now. We're warming up. Is this an A+ video? No, but it's enough to get the day started, right? We're having our morning coffee at 6:30 in the West Coast. Live a little, right, folks? So for Greg to not pack his suitcase, that's some pretty big confidence. But let me tell you something. What I would love to watch. This is what I would love to watch. The Bachelor, the early episodes, like, episodes 1 through 4, when there's a lot of contestants. I'd like to watch the hour before the rose ceremony. Can you imagine on The Bachelor how many women are just frantically trying to just stuff thong and sequin dress and this and that into their suitcase while also doing their eyeliner and curls? And by the way, I've never seen multiple women do their hair the same way. It's almost like you've all just developed some sort of secret code for what works with your hair. You know what I mean? If scientists could try to cure COVID with the same ambition that single women try to do their hair, I think we'd be way out of this pandemic. I think if we could just get single women energy into the COVID CDC labs, we'd have this thing solved in no time. You know what I mean? You just show up with a hair straightener and a couple eyelash curlers, and next thing you know, the variant's done. Right, Deborah? All right, folks. So, and I know I'm going to get comments from women being like, Dave, men are the worst when it comes to packing. Why do you need to pack your Manscaped, trimmers when it's like you're only gone for 5 days? And it's like, well, we're trying to look good for the suite we paid for. You know what I mean, Cheryl? So, either way, for Greg not to, by the way, some of my favorite videos are the ones where I'm stalling with not much to say because we're just hanging out, friends, right? We're just hanging out. We're using The Bachelor as a jumping off point to have conversations that sometimes matter and sometimes don't. I tell you what, we've got a couple of those today. We got at least 2 stories that are going to be pretty serious, not this one. And then we have a couple stories that are going to be kind of irreverent goodies, which is, that's my sweet zone. That's my sweet spot. Yeah, that's my erroneous zone is irreverent goodies. Hey, Dave, where do you like to what part of your back do you like massaged? The part that hits the irreverent goodies. That's what we're going for on a Thirsty Thursday. So happy birthday to Andrew Spencer. And as far as other content, can you believe this, folks? Oh, look at that, 51,419. We've passed Nick Vial in the subscriber race, so we're about 700 ahead of him. It doesn't look like he will catch up to us, but it would be nice to hit that 51,500 mark today. I think that would be a good benchmark for the day. We have a long way to go, but we're going to make a lot of content to make that happen today. And also a fun benchmark, we are moments away from being halfway to monetization on the Dave Neal Show. So if you guys want to see what this is all about, let's switch accounts here to the Dave Neal Show, and I'm going to show you the behind the scenes of getting this channel monetized. Now, you need 2 things to get monetized. You need 1,000 subscribers. We have 2,350. And you also need 4,000 watch hours. Now, this number's not up to date. We're at just about 2,000 watch hours. It hasn't factored in yesterday. So we are halfway to monetization on the Dave Neal Show, making daily content. Today, like I said, we'll have the Britney Spears video for you there and a lot of other things as they come up. Some of the other content, Steve Harvey rails against cancel culture. And then we have Coach Saban of Alabama trying to get political and pressure Senator Joe Manchin to pass the voting right bill. So, we'll throw in some news. We'll throw in some comedy. Comedy being, Pete Davidson, Kim Kardashian. Actually, that's kind of a sad story because Kanye West is trying to, there's a whole custody battle brewing, of course, and other stories like that. So if you want to stay on top of the news without getting bogged down by the negativity of it all, I think we got you covered there. Let me know what you guys think. And also, it's always good to hear these stories from Andrew Spencer, some of these behind the scenes stories. Of course, Greg Grippo thought he had it in the bag. Like, that makes perfect sense, right? He was the front runner. Even when Blake showed up, Greg still thought he had it until he didn't. That's why these scenarios end in such heartbreak. When you look at Greg and Katie's final fight, a lot of heartbreak. He's like, I thought I was the one. The biggest breakups are the ones when you love the family and you could imagine yourself with so-and-so. You're like, all right, I was going to go golfing with your dad. All these stupid things, right? Like things that really don't matter. Be like, I put it all together. I already had the vision board complete. And then like the universe is like, we have different plans for you. And that's exactly what happened. More content coming your way. Tons to get to. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. And we're going to groove it all day long. We have a Patreon happening at 10 a.m. Pacific time. If you want to join us with a little work with Dave, join the Patreon and watch us make some of this content today live. Patreon.com/Dave Neal, 10 a.m. Pacific time. We'll see you guys in a little bit. Bye now.